All right, recording this class today because my sister asked me for some yoga. And when your sister asks you for yoga, give her yoga. If we were doing this class live in a room, it would be in a hot room, and that would help to get our heart rates up and our energy up. But since that's not what we have right now, I'm still going to do my best to get your heart rate up, get the energy up, maybe with the playlist, and hope that it's everything everybody needs. This will be a Vinyasa flow class, and as always, you can take it for what it is, make it your own. Definitely listen to your body. Don't do the things that your body doesn't need for you to do. And if all you do is lay on your mat and breathe for the next 60 minutes, you'll still feel better at the end of it. So the playlist that I'm using today is called 6 a.m. on my Spotify playlist. And if you can find me on Spotify, which I recognize is it's not easy to find people on Spotify in my opinion. The easiest way to do it probably is if you follow me on YouTube. My Facebook profile is listed. So if you go to Facebook, and I have several playlists posted, just go to Spotify via one of those playlists and follow me on Spotify, and then you can find all of my playlists. And again, this one is called 6 a.m., not virtual 6 a.m., just straight up 6 a.m., although that other one would work as well. But if you want to stop this, find that playlist and come back to it, now is a good time to start it. Again, I can't play the music over the video because A, I don't know exactly how to do that, and B, copyright issues. So let's start on our backs today. I say it like that's something new, but that is generally how I start. So just finding your way down onto your back, letting legs go long if that feels good on your spine. Maybe bending your knees, letting your feet go wide, knees tipping in to support your spine if that works better for you. Just starting to center your practice, centering your mind, calming your thoughts as your body grows a little still on the mat, just trying to let your mind and your thoughts do the same thing. Seeing those thoughts as they go past, knowing that you can't stop them, but realizing that you can avoid getting caught up in them. You can be an observer instead of letting them distract you. Easier said than done, but we can try. Beginning to bring some attention to your breath. Definitely my favorite way to bring myself into the present moment. Feeling those inhales and exhales. Really bringing in a lot of air with those inhales, filling up through some spaces that maybe don't normally get filled up on your regular inhales. And then exhaling everything out. Taking a few deep breaths, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. Taking a couple like that on your own. Really noticing what your body does with those inhales and exhales, how it moves, how it feels. On your next inhale, pausing at the top just for a few seconds. And then exhaling, finding that pause at the bottom, noticing what your mind does in those pauses. Taking a couple more like that on your own, just inhaling through your mouth, feeling that pause at the top, maybe seeing some clarity there. Exhaling it all the way out, seeing that pause at the bottom, feeling that stillness. In a moment, we'll do a counted breathing exercise. We'll do a 4-count inhale, a 4-count hold, a 4-count exhale, and a 4-count hold. Again, paying attention to those pauses at the top and the bottom of the inhale and the exhale. Just noticing what they do in your body, in your mind. So taking a breath in here or holding the breath that you have just to sync up. And then exhaling it out. And then inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Last one, inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, and exhale. Letting your breath go, maybe just letting the pauses go, coming back to that 4-count inhale, 4-count exhale, making it yours, making it 4 counts that you can sustain, hopefully throughout this practice. If you have an ujjayi breath, that hug of the vocal cords that makes your inhale and exhale slightly audible, maybe engaging that brings concentration to your practice. It also increases the heat in your practice, the heat in your body. So starting to just really sink into that breath and then finding a long stretch on your mat, sending arms and legs in opposite directions. Feeling that full length of your spine here. Maybe sending one side a little longer and then switching for the other side. Beginning to pull your knees into your chest. Arms can come up around your shins or behind your thighs, rocking side to side. Feeling those muscles on either side of your spine, feeling that little bit of a massage across your tailbone, your sacrum. Starting to make some circles with your knees. Just imagining that you're drawing circles on the ceiling. Starting off small and then maybe getting a little bigger with those circles. Starting to engage your core a little bit. Once you've done a few in one direction, going in the other direction again, maybe starting small before getting bigger with those circles. Once you've evened it out on this side, coming back to center and just letting your knees fall away, making circles with each knee, 2 or 3 in each direction before switching. Coming back to center and just sending both legs up towards the ceiling, pointing your toes once you get there, and then bending your knees and flexing your feet as you pull them back down. Inhaling as you straighten and point your toes, and exhaling, pulling your knees, flexing your feet. Inhaling as you straighten your legs, and exhaling as you bend your knees. Finding your breath here, just starting to feel your hamstrings a little bit. Taking one more round of this and pulling your knees into your chest and letting your left leg go long, still keeping that right leg pulled in. Letting everything relax here except your biceps, really just feeling that compression between your thigh, your chest, your thigh, and your belly. And letting your right leg fall across your body for a supine twist. I like to keep my knees stacked for this early twist. Gazing over your right shoulder, trying to keep both shoulders down here, stacking your hips. Keeping both your shoulders down is really the limiting factor in this twist. How far that top knee can go over without lifting up that right shoulder. Unwinding, letting your right leg go long and pulling your left leg into your chest. Maybe finding some movement here, moving that leg side to side. Left knee coming towards your left shoulder if that feels good. Getting into your hip flexor a little bit more that way. And then letting your left leg fall across for a supine twist in this direction. Gazing over your left shoulder, trying to keep both shoulders down. Feeling your inhales, the full length of your spine, your exhales, taking you a little deeper into that twist. Unwinding, coming back to center. And if you're on a surface that's padded enough, rocking and rolling a couple of times to come up to a seat. If does not feel good on your spine, just meeting us, we're going to go straight into tabletop. Once you get here, hands below your shoulders, knees below your hips, letting your belly drop as you inhale, finding that cow shape, and then exhaling, rounding your spine for cat. Just using your breath to find some cat-cows here, inhaling and exhaling. Maybe finding some barrel rolls, anything that feels good to your spine. Coming back to a neutral spine and starting to spin that right leg back towards the long side of your mat. Sending your left leg out straight, right arm under your shoulder so that you find yourself in a supported side plank. Letting your left arm come up and then over, feeling that stretch all the way down the left side of your body. Right now, having that left leg, toes, foot parallel to the short side of your mat. You can find some arm circles here if that feels good. And then on an inhale, using all of your core strength, bringing your arms up and out to a T, your torso up. And then as you exhale, letting that left arm come down, toes pointing in the same direction as your leg, right arm coming up and over. Feeling the stretch down your right side body, getting into your psoas a little bit here. Still staying with your breath, those inhales and exhales, guiding your practice. On an inhale, coming back up, arms out to a T, and then exhaling, letting your right hand come down, your left hand come down, finding your way back to tabletop. Going through one round of cat-cow here, opening up as you drop your belly, hips, head, and shoulders rise, and then exhaling, rounding your spine, finding that curve, coming back to neutral. And this time, spinning your left leg back so that leg is perpendicular to the long side of the mat. Finding your side plank here, left hand under your left shoulder, right leg out straight, foot parallel to the short side of your mat. Right arm can come up and over your head, finding a little movement here, maybe circles, any sort of movement that feels good to you, or maybe just stillness. And on an inhale, again, using all that core strength, coming up, arms out to a T, sending your toes long, same direction as your leg, and letting your right hand come down, left arm up and over, feeling this stretch down your left side body. The psoas is a hard muscle to stretch, and this gets into it a little bit. Again, listening to your body, feeling and listening to what it's telling you. One more breath here, Feeling that breath really fill up through your left side. And then on an inhale, coming back up, arms out to a T. Exhaling, coming all the way back down into tabletop. Sinking your hips back to find child's pose, letting your knees go wide, forehead coming down, and just knowing that this is a shape you can come back to at any time during the practice. Very grounding shape. Also a pretty good hip stretch as well. Starting to come back up, heading towards a plank shape before pushing back to down dog. So finding your plank first. Plank is generally the distance between your hands and your feet that you need for down dog. So once you get there, pushing your hips up and back, feeling that stretch down your hamstrings, walking out your knees here. On an inhale, bringing your heels up. As you exhale, just finding your way to the top of the mat, letting your feet come up to the top, staying in that forward fold. Once you get here, reaching for elbows, swaying side to side, really releasing through your neck, your head, your shoulders, letting everything go here. Coming back to center, releasing any grip that you have. And on an inhale, coming all the way up, bringing arms up overhead. And then as you exhale, bringing hands down to heart. We'll go through a few sun A's here. On an inhale, arms coming up overhead. As you exhale, finding your forward fold. Inhaling up to your flat spine, feeling that hamstring stretch. And then exhaling, hands down, feet back, maybe knees down as you lower. Inhaling, opening up, and exhaling, down dog. Inhaling, your heels up here. Exhaling, bending your knees, looking forward, finding your way to the top of the mat and your flat spine. Exhaling to fold. Inhaling, coming all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Again, inhaling, arms coming up. Exhaling to fold. Inhaling to your flat spine. Exhaling, hands down, feet back, lowering, opening up on your inhale. Exhaling back to down dog. Inhale, heels up. Exhale, bending your knees, looking forward, finding your way to the top and that flat spine. Exhaling to fold. Inhaling, coming all the way up. Continuing with these to your breath. If sun salutations aren't something you've done much of before, this is probably not the best class. I'm not going to break it down and teach these out. I will have classes that go through that, but not this one. Inhaling, heels up. Exhaling, bending your knees, looking forward. Top of the mat and that flat spine. Exhaling to fold. Going through two more to your own breath. Building up that heat in your body. We'll meet in a down dog after your last one. Taking your time. Your sun salutations may be faster or slower than mine. I really hope they're not faster, but we'll all meet up in the end. Slow is how you build your power, build your strength. Slow and controlled. Pulling those shoulders back, keeping your chin tucked in up dog. Once you find your way to down dog, Taking a breath here, inhaling, bringing your heels up and sighing it out. Doing that again, inhaling your heels up, sighing everything out through your mouth. On your next inhale, taking that right leg up, opening your hip, letting your knee bend if that feels good. Maybe making some hip circles, still trying to keep your chest squared, that right shoulder down, left heel down. Reversing anything that has direction. One more breath here. And then on your next inhale, sending your leg up long behind you. And as you exhale, pulling it to your right elbow, slow and controlled. Inhaling, sending it up. And then exhaling, bringing it under your body to your left elbow. Inhaling up and back. Exhaling, knee to nose, really rounding your spine here. Inhaling up and back. This time as you go to the right, maybe aiming for higher than your elbow, up by your shoulder. Inhaling up and back. Exhaling under your body, maybe above that left elbow. Inhale up and back, and then knee to nose. This time, sending that left leg up and back and letting it come down to meet the left. Walking out your knees here. Inhaling your left leg up, bending your knee, finding any movement that feels good on this side, trying to keep that left shoulder down. Maybe circles, remembering to reverse direction. Just letting that hip open up a little bit. Straightening your left leg on your next inhale, and then exhaling, sending it to your left elbow. Inhaling it up and back, and then exhale, sending it under your body to your right elbow. Inhale up and back, and then knee to nose, really pulling it in. Inhaling up and back, sending it to that left elbow, maybe even higher, left shoulder. Inhaling up and back, and then under your body to the right side. Inhaling up and back, and then knee to nose. Really pulling it in here. Inhaling up and back, and then letting that left leg come down. Walking out your knees. Letting those heels fall back towards the mat. On an inhale, rolling forward. Really rounding your spine as you come forward. Finding yourself in plank. And then bringing your right hand to the center of the mat and opening up for a left side plank. Sending your left arm up. Feeling that stretch. Maybe lifting that top leg. Really keeping that left hip up. Starting to come back into a plank. Switching, bringing your left hand to the center of the mat. Rolling open, sending that right arm up. Pushing your hips up. Maybe even putting your hand on your hip as you push into it. You can lift that leg, find tree, any shape that feels good to you. Finding the work in this, really feeling that pinch through your obliques on the left, that stretch on the right. Rolling back into plank, and this time just lowering down all the way to your mat. Once you get here, just letting your arms go long, windshield wipering your legs back and forth. Bringing your hands beside your chest. And as you inhale, pushing up for a low cobra. Exhaling, coming back down. Really using your spine here. You can pick your hands up if you'd like. Exhaling back down. Sending your fingertips off your mat. Bringing those fingertips down, keeping your palms up. Elbows 90 degrees up towards the ceiling as you push up. Coming back down. Inhaling back up. Exhaling down and staying down this time. Bringing your hands to chest level. Starting to push up and back for down dog again. Inhaling your heels up. Exhaling, bending your knees, looking forward, finding your way to the top of the mat, your flat spine, and then exhaling to fold. On an inhale, coming all the way up, bringing hands to heart. Going through a sun B variation here, bending your knees, inhaling to find chair, and then exhaling to fold. Inhaling to your flat spine, exhaling, hands down, feet back, going through your chaturanga, opening up dog or cobra, exhaling back, inhaling your right leg up, exhaling as you pull it through, placing it in between your hands, inhaling, coming up to crescent, and exhaling, finding warrior two, heeled arch alignment, ribs stacked over hips, inhaling, coming up to five-pointed star, and then exhaling, finding warrior two towards the back of your mat. Inhaling to find exalted. And then exhaling, framing your foot at the back of the mat, lowering down, going through your vinyasa. Inhaling your left leg up. Exhaling as you pull it through, placing it in between your hands. Inhaling to come up to crescent. Exhaling to warrior two. Inhaling up to five-pointed star. And then exhaling, warrior two, towards the front of the mat. Exalting back as you inhale. And then exhaling forward, framing your foot, sending it back, holding your plank on that inhale, and then lowering down to exhale. Inhale to open up. Exhale, down dog. Again, starting on the right, inhaling, and exhale to pull it through. Inhale to crescent. And exhale, warrior two. Inhale, five-pointed star. Exhale, warrior two to the back. Inhale for exalted. And exhale to frame your foot. Inhaling to plank. Exhaling to lower. Inhaling to open up. Exhaling back, staying on the right, making a full circle. Inhaling the right leg up. Exhaling as you pull it through, placing it in between your hands. Inhale to crescent. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, five-pointed star. Exhale, crescent back to the front. Exalt on your inhale. Hands frame your feet. Your exhale. Inhale to plank. Exhale to lower. Inhale, opening up. Exhale, down dog. Starting on the left, inhaling the left leg up. Exhaling to pull it through, placing it in between your hands. Inhaling, crescent. Exhale, warrior two. I think you know this now. Just staying with your breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Lowering to your knees for these chaturangas. Staying on the left, but lowering to your knees for these chaturangas. If they start to be too much, you'll build plenty of strength that way. Again, staying in down dog once you get there, back at the top of your mat. Taking a breath here, letting your heels come up as you inhale, back down as you exhale. One more like that. Inhaling, heels up, and exhaling to lower. Your next inhale, taking your right leg up, exhaling as you pull it through, placing it in between your hands, coming up to crescent. And this time, as you exhale, we'll take a couple of breaths here before we do this. But on an exhale, you're going to bring your arms down and that back leg, that left leg forward. So exhaling, pulling that left leg up, and then inhaling, stepping back. So again, bringing that leg up as you exhale, inhaling back. Exhale, coming forward. Inhale to crescent. Again, one more like that. Exhaling forward. Inhaling to crescent. Staying here in this crescent. And twisting over your right shoulder, letting left arm go forward, right arm go back. Taking a breath here. On your next inhale, opening up again to five-pointed star. We've been here before. And then exhaling, coming into a lunge towards the back of the mat. Feeling that stretch down your right inner thigh, maybe your left inner thigh. Trying to maintain control in this shape, not lowering down so much that you lose the power. And then letting your left hand come down towards the center of the mat, switching to bend into your right knee, letting that right arm come up. So your left leg straight, right leg is bent, left arm down, right arm up. We're going to go through that again. So coming back to that lunge, the back of the mat, bending into your left knee, finding your low lunge, and then left hand coming down, right going up, bending into your front knee. Framing your foot, and then on an inhale, sending that right foot back, binding plank, lowering down. Inhaling as you come up, and exhaling back to down dog. Finding all that on the opposite side. Bringing yourself back up to crescent. And then I totally forgot where I was going. From crescent, we're going to stay here for a breath and pull that right leg forward as we pull our arms down. So exhaling, bringing that right leg up, arms down. Inhaling, sending your arms back up for crescent as you step back. Exhale forward. Inhaling up. Exhale. Inhale. Couple more like that. Next time you step back into crescent, staying there. And then on your next exhale, twisting, right arm forward, left arm back. As you unwind, finding your way back to five-pointed star. And then bringing hands to heart, finding that lunge, this time towards your right leg again, towards the back of the mat. Staying here, noticing how your body may react differently on this side, how it feels different, how maybe it's a different shape entirely on this side for you. Trying to keep your chest up, tailbone back, but not sending that tailbone too far behind you, just keeping it down and back a little. Starting to push up, bringing your right hand down to the mat, bending into your left knee, sending your left arm up. So right leg is straight, left knee bent, left hand up, feeling all the places which this stretch reaches in your body. Going through that again, finding that lunge towards your right side, staying here for a breath, and then moving right hand down, left arm up. We're going to connect this all to breath in a moment. Hopefully I can remember it from side to side. Moving to frame your foot at the top of your mat again, sending it back, lowering down through your vinyasa, maybe skipping it, going straight to down dog. Finding your way there. Once you're there, taking a breath. Maybe taking your heels up on your inhales, lowering them down on your exhales. Again, we're going to connect everything we just did to breath. So starting on the right, taking that right leg up, exhaling as you pull it through, placing it in between your hands, coming up to crescent. Exhaling, bringing that left leg forward, pulling your arms down, coming back to crescent just one time, and then twisting, right arm back, left arm forward. Opening up to five-pointed star as you inhale, and then exhaling into that back knee. Inhaling, left hand down, bending into that front knee. Doing that again, finding that lunge. Left hand down, coming back up. Framing your foot at the top of the mat. Sending it back on your inhale, and then lowering on your exhale. Inhaling to open up. Exhaling for down dog. Inhaling your left leg up. Exhaling as you pull it through, placing it in between your hands, coming up to crescent on your inhale, and then exhaling, bringing that back leg forward and up. Inhaling to crescent. Twisting over your left shoulder, right hand forward, left hand back. Opening up to five-pointed star on your inhale, and exhaling, lunging towards the back of the mat. Inhaling to find that right hand down, left arm up towards the front. Coming back into your low lunge at the back of the mat. And then right hand down, left hand up. Framing your foot at the top, sending that left leg back on an inhale, lowering down on an exhale. Again, maybe skipping these, doing them on your knees, whatever you need. Again, starting on the right side. One movement to one breath. We'll take everything down. Coming up to crescent, we'll take everything down to just once. So coming forward, bringing that left leg forward. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling as you open to the side. Finding five-pointed star. And then that lunge to the back of the mat. Left hand down, right hand up. Framing your foot at the top of the mat. Sending that right leg back for four-pointed staff pose on your inhale, lowering down on your exhale. Inhaling to open. Exhaling back. Left side. Pulling it forward, placing it down. Crescent on your inhale. Pulling that back leg forward as you exhale. Engaging your core here. Inhaling back up. Twisting over your left shoulder. Opening up to five-pointed star. Bending into that back leg. Right hand down, left hand up into that front leg. And then framing your foot. As you inhale, sending that left leg back, lowering down. Inhaling to open. And exhale to down dog. Right leg going up again, pulling it through. coming up to crescent, bringing that back leg forward, crescent again, opening to the right, 5-pointed star, lowering towards the back of the mat, inhaling, coming up, whoops, inhaling to open, and exhaling, framing your foot, sending that right foot back, lowering down, inhaling to open, exhaling back. Left side. I think you know this. Just moving to your breath, crescent, bringing that back leg forward and up, crescent, twisting to the left, 5-pointed star, lunge, right hand down, framing your foot, 4-pointed staff, and lower. We're going to go through this one more time on each side, or you can find your way into child's, right side up. If pigeon is something in your practice, you're welcome to do that. I otherwise will not be including that today, so if you'd like to include it now, feel free. Last side. Once you get to down dog, letting your knees come down, finding child's. Letting your heart rate come down, your breath come back down. Hopefully this got it up some. Definitely made me sweat, so I hope I'm not the only one. In this shape, letting your left arm go forward and threading your right arm underneath. Right palm facing up, left armpit facing down. Letting your head, your cheek rest on the mat. Feeling this stretch on the back of your right shoulder, around a little into your chest, front of your arm. Just releasing into it. Switching, sending your right arm forward, threading your left arm under. Left palm facing up, right armpit facing down towards the mat. Unwinding everything. Starting to sit up. Bringing your legs long in front of you on your mat. Keeping your knees bent, soles of your feet down. moving towards boat. So bringing your legs up off the mat, maybe trying to get those shins parallel to the mat, or maybe straightening your legs. That's not for me today, but go for it if you have it. Really trying to keep your spine straight, that belly button to spine, keeping your chest open and proud. Hands can reach long or stay behind your legs. If your hands aren't behind your legs, trying to bring them together in front of you. And as you exhale, dropping your toes down as you take your hands over towards the right. Inhaling everything back up and exhaling, coming down to the left. Staying slow and controlled here. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale and exhale. Really feeling this twist through your obliques. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more to each side. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Coming back to center. Holding this here, releasing your hands long, legs going long, lowering down to a low boat. Trying to keep your shoulders off the mat still. Maybe you're shaking, holding this for another breath, and then exhaling, letting everything come down. Staying here for a breath or two. And then rolling to your side, just coming back up to do a couple of seated shapes before Shavasana. Sending your legs long in front of you, just shaking them out. And starting to, keeping your feet flexed, just thinking about your chest coming forward. So maybe bringing your arms up overhead, just creating a little space before you move forward, letting your hands come down. Maybe you can reach your feet, maybe you can't. That's not the goal here. Hands can be beside your legs. This can be whatever kind of forward fold you need it to be. If your hands can reach your feet, maybe really flexing those toes back, letting your wrist rest on your toes, releasing your neck. I like to find a little movement side to side in this shape. You may prefer stillness, but both are options. Letting your mind come back to center. Trying not to get caught up in those thoughts as you slow down. Coming back to your breath. Beginning to come back up to a straight spine. Bending your knees, letting them go a little wide, maybe as wide as your mat. Hands coming behind you, just windshield wipering your legs back and forth. Taking this slowly to feel that massage on the side of your hips, across your glutes to the other side. Coming back to center. And sending left leg long, bringing your right leg in. For this stretch, for this shape, you may bring your left leg in a little more than you normally would in this shape. So what we're going to do is your left arm's going to go on the outside of that left leg, bringing your right hand towards your foot. Again, it doesn't have to reach it, but reaching towards that right foot and just keeping that right shoulder down, feeling the stretch down your right side to the right side of your hip, your spine. Again, if your hand does reach your foot, just letting your toes flex back, maybe on your wrist, the back side of your forearm, not pulling on your foot, just letting gravity do its work here. Trying to just still those thoughts, not stop them, just bringing them down a notch, letting them pass by, not getting frustrated that they're still happening. Just observing, releasing through the parts of your body where you're still holding on. Letting that right hip go, the left hip, left hamstring, your neck, your shoulders. Starting to come back up, sending your left leg out long in front of you, right foot down on the mat. If you want to cross it over your leg, you can, or you can keep it on the inside. But bringing your right hand down behind you, left arm coming up, and then twisting over into that bent leg. So twisting over your right shoulder. Keeping your shoulders back as you inhale, feeling that full length of your spine, maybe imagining growing a little bit taller. Exhaling, twisting a little deeper. Releasing, just coming over to the opposite side for that twist on the other side, just for a breath or two. Coming back to center, switching legs, bringing your left sole of the foot in, sending your right leg out, finding that shape on this side. So right hand coming down on the outside of your right leg, left hand reaching in the direction of your foot, maybe not all the way to it. These shapes for me are very different side to side. And as frustrating as it is, I have to accept that. So not getting caught up in it, just knowing that our body's trying to protect us. Trying not to make judgment on things that our body's trying to help us with. Maybe toes resting on wrist, palm, back of your forearm here. Gravity playing a part in this. Again, releasing through all those places you're still holding on. Right hip, right hamstring, neck and shoulders. Always neck and shoulders. Always holding on there. Couple more breaths on this side. Starting to come back up. Left leg going long in front of you. Right leg going long in front of you. Left sole of the foot coming down. Left hand down behind you. Right arm up before twisting into that bent leg. I used to always do this twist with my foot crossing over my straight leg. And I did it recently without crossing it over and found that it really feels like an entirely different twist in this direction, and one that my body seems to need right now. So Maybe trying it if you always do it the other way. You can always switch back. Releasing that twist, coming to the counter side, counter twist, opening those shoulders up just for a breath or two. Releasing, lowering yourself down onto the mat. Legs going long, arms down by your hips. Taking a breath here. Pulling your knees into your chest again. Rocking side to side. And then sending your legs up towards the ceiling. Arms extending up as well, shaking everything out. And then just staying here for a couple of breaths, just taking in this gentle inversion, letting everything drain from fingers, palms, toes, feet, arms and legs, letting everything come back to center. Letting those thoughts still, quiet, not getting caught up in them. Beginning to let your feet come down to the mat. Arms coming down, maybe resting on your chest. Just taking a couple of breaths here, feeling your heartbeat, your breath. And then finding your shape for Shavasana. Maybe it's that same shape with your soles of the feet on the mat. Maybe it's legs long. Whatever it is. Finding that stillness. Observing what your body needs to stay still during this Shavasana. Shavasana, the stillness at the end of practice, is meant to be the workout for the mind. All of yoga can be a workout for the mind, but this is the singular part for the mind. Taking a quick body scan here, starting at your toes, just working your way up your body, letting everything release and relax as you come to it. Finding those inhales and exhales. Just focusing on that. Staying here for the next few minutes. Not getting frustrated when your mind wanders, just pulling your mind back to center each time. I'll let you know when it's time to move. letting your next breath be deeper than the last, feeling the movement that just your breath brings back into your body. Beginning to find movement in your fingers and your toes. Maybe rocking your head side to side, stretching your body long, any last movements that your body needs to end this practice. Taking your time before pulling your knees into your chest, finding your way onto your favorite side. Getting there, using this shape as a reset, taking in what this practice did for you, what it can continue doing for you after you turn it off, after you get up from your mat. Focusing on your breath in those difficult times, those stressful times. And always just finding some gratitude, even for the littlest things. The fact that your hamstrings didn't hurt as much today as yesterday. Something that little or something far bigger. Starting to find your way up to a seat. Keeping your eyes closed once you get there. I close all my practices with an Om. In this current medium, you're only going to hear my Om and maybe your own. I encourage you to join in. It's just a vibration, a sound of oneness, coming together, community, of healing. So taking an inhale and exhale here, and then inhaling for the Om. For opening your eyes, just imagining all the other people doing this practice. Imagine your friends doing it with you, bridging that distance, letting yoga bring us together, making it a connection as it was meant to be. Starting to open your eyes, just taking in this last moment. I thank you for practicing with me today and send you all out with my compassion, my gratitude, my hopes for a good day for you. Namaste.